I'm rebuilding Texas Tech in College Football 25 because Knowles07 Plays commented on a previous video to rebuild Texas Tech. I'll put a link to their channel in the description below, so everyone go subscribe to their channel right now. If you want to see your name and get a shout out in a future video, go ahead and comment below right now what are the rebuilds you want to see me do. Texas Tech is currently rated 84 overall with the 85 offense, 84 defense. They're in the Big 12 and they're a 3-star school. The highest overall rated player on the entire team is running back Taj Brooks, who's a 92 overall with 88 speed. He's a power back, 5'10", 230 pounds. He's a redshirt senior, so he'll be leaving after this season. The second highest rated player is middle linebacker Ben Roberts, who's a redshirt sophomore. He's an 85 overall, but he's playing up to 89 overall, which is pretty crazy. At quarterback, we really have two options here, and as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and redshirt Will Hammond, the true freshman who's a 75 overall in his first year, and we're going to go with Morton at quarterback, who's a redshirt junior. He's an 81 overall. Maybe after this season, Hammond can just go ahead and step in as a redshirt freshman and be the starter next season. The best wide receiver on the team is redshirt senior Josh Kelly, who is an 86 overall, and then we have a pretty big drop off down to 81 for the next two guys, and then we have an 80 overall true freshman wide receiver Micah Hudson. Coming out of high school was already 80 overall, which is pretty crazy. In the depth chart, I actually made him the number 2 receiver, and also going to be putting him in the slot, so we're going to try to develop him right away. I'm in week 0 currently, and I have 4 or 5 stars on the top of the board here that I have the max hours allocated to them that I possibly can. So we got 50 on this guy, 60, 60, and 60. This guy is actually a 5-star gym defensive end, Daryl Redmond. It would be awesome to get him, but he has offers from like 50 other schools. We're going to put 60 points on him and see if it makes a difference. And we're number 1 on this tight end, Jason Hakeem, who's a 4-star, and he's actually a gym. We're actually number 1 on the board for this 4-star gym tight end, Jason Hakeem, who is 6'6", 227 pounds. He's a vertical threat. He has 86 speed, which is pretty good for someone his size. The rest of the targets are all 4 stars, and if they're a gym, then I was definitely going after them. But I believe in maxing out the hours on one player at a time, instead of putting like 20 points on this guy, 10 on this guy, 15 on this guy. This guy only has 10 because that's all I had left. But I like to try to max out the hours on everybody until we get them to commit or they go to a different school, and then I'll do the same thing again on the next guys that are available, maxing out the hours instead of sitting here trying to nickel and dime it. Whenever you do that nickel and dime stuff, it usually ends up biting you, and another team will come out of nowhere and just take the guy. The schedule for the first season is going to be against FCS West in the first week, and then we have Washington State, North Texas, Arizona State, Cincinnati. Our first ranked game against Arizona, who's ranked number 16. At that time, who knows if they're still going to be ranked. Then we have Baylor, TCU, Iowa State, Colorado, and then number 18, Oklahoma State, and we end the regular season against West Virginia. I simulated to the next week, and we actually made a significant jump on a lot of these 5-star guys. We're still 4th on this guy's list, but the big jump that we made is bigger than all the other teams, so I'm definitely going to keep going with that 50 points on him. Maybe we can jump to 2 or 1 on his list the next week. Same thing with the rest of these guys. Look, that huge jump that we have right there. We're 6th, but we had made big time progress, way more than Alabama or Ole Miss. So if we keep doing it, we should be at the top right away, or in like a week or 2, I would assume. We already made number 1 on this guy's list. I had Michigan, who barely did anything to him. And then once again on this guy, a huge jump right there, so gonna keep on going after him. All of the rest of the players that we're targeting that are 4 stars, we are number 1 on their list now after maxing out the points, except for the one guy that we only had 10 points to put towards, which is understandable because we barely put any time towards them, but I'm gonna keep that 10 on them for right now. We destroyed the FCS West 56-13 as expected. Looking at the stats, Morton had a 186 rating, 234 yards, passing only 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Russian Taj Brooks had a game, 12 carries, 120 yards, 1 touchdown. His longest run was 34 yards. The backup running back had 81 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then the quarterback actually had 2 rushing touchdowns also. Recruiting update: after that win, we are 2nd to Ohio State against Ezekiel Coate, and we made a big gain, so I would expect us to be 1st after this. But the rest of the 5 stars, we actually jumped in 1st. This one we barely got ahead of Mississippi State. This one we're way ahead of Michigan, and we're actually jumped ahead of Notre Dame in this one. So after another week or 2, we're definitely going to be in the 1st on this guy, and we should be expecting to see some commits pretty soon. The rest of the guys still all in 1st place on these 4 stars, except for that one free safety, even with 10 points or so, right there neck and neck with TCU. Another blowout win to start the season 2-0. We beat Washington State 49-10. And Morton actually had 214 yards, 2 touchdowns. His rating was only 137, but it looks like it was the Taj Brooks show. He only had 13 carries, but he had 98 yards and he had 3 touchdowns. And we do jump ahead of Ohio State on this defensive end, Ezekiel Coate, which I love to see. And we actually have a pretty good lead on him now, and we're starting to get away from Mississippi State on Redmond. We got a pretty big lead on Zambrano over top of Michigan, and also we're getting ahead of Notre Dame by a good amount. Whenever these guys are available to have visits, I'll definitely start scheduling them. Looks like we can do it for a couple of these guys, so I'm going to come in here and look at that. After looking at it, I decided not to do any visits at the moment, especially on this tight end Hakeem. We're in a huge lead. Nobody else is going after him, so I'm not worried about doing a visit. The rest of these guys, we're still in first place. Some of them by a lot, some of them by a little bit, but none of them have any visits scheduled with any other teams at the moment, so I'm just going to ride it out for now. And we actually jumped in first place on this free safety with 10 points over TCU. We suffered our first loss of the season against North Texas of all teams, 30-27 in a really close game. Let's look at the stats here. Morton had a 161 rating, 273 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Not a bad game. Taj Brooks only had 10 carries for 89 yards with no touchdowns. We still have a commanding lead on all the 5-star players here, as you can see. But some of these 4-star players, the other teams are starting to creep up on them, like this guy right here, this cornerback. He's a gem 4-star, Keelan Davey. We're in first place, but it looks like OSU, Baylor, and TCU are actually making a pretty good gain this week. Same thing with this center. Baylor's coming after him. SMU's coming in hot on this defensive tackle. They just had a huge gain right there. And then Baylor, so yeah, if they keep up with the same amount of points, then they're going to make a pretty big jump. Like Texas A&M right here, they have a pretty huge gain right there. They got more of a gain than we did, so those guys, I'm going to go ahead and schedule visits for them. The way that I like to schedule visits with the points that we have, because as you can see we have 0 hours available, I'm going to go in here, go to recruiting, I'm going to remove send the house. It costs 40 points to schedule a visit. I'm going to go with the very first week that we can. We know that he likes proximity to home, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to jump back in and DM the player to get our back to the most hours that we have available, so we're at 0. So I'm going to do that with all the players. I know that some people might not like to do that because other teams could jump ahead of you because they're just scouting or using so many recruiting hours on them. But once the visit is scheduled, the next week I'll go back in there and send it back to send the house, or actually I'll do like a hard sell. And then the visit will make up for the time that we lost on them, in my opinion. For this player in particular, they already have visits scheduled for TCU and for Baylor, and SMU made a huge game, but I went ahead and scheduled a visit. I do have 20 points left after that, and I have enough to knowledge of what he likes to do a hard sell or a soft sell. I have 20 points left, so I'm going to go ahead and jump him over to a soft sell. Week 4, we did beat Arizona State in a close game, 42-35. Morton had a 223 rating, nice, 283 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, only 1 interception with 81% completion. Taj Brooks still had a pretty good game, 14 carries, 120 yards, 8.6 per carry with 1 touchdown. 31 yards was his longest run. True freshman wide receiver Micah Hudson actually had 5 catches for 97 yards and 3 tutties with a 59-yard bomb. He did have 1 drop too. We're still in first place on all these 5-star guys at the moment, and I wanted to show you. So after I scheduled the visits and lowered the points down to 10, we did end up losing a lot of ground on some of these players. We're still in first on this cornerback, but if you see this defensive tackle, TCU took a huge gain, but we only allocated 20 points towards them, so we're going to go ahead and bump them back up to the full 60, and then we should be able to get a pretty good game back. Same thing with these other guys. We went all the way down to 5th on this guy's list, but we're going to gain it back, especially since we have the first visit, so I think we have a pretty good shot of getting them to commit sooner than these other teams because they scheduled them to visit so late. Like Baylor's week 14 visit, SMU's week 12 visit. We just landed our first commit of the video. It's going to be 4-star cornerback Clyde Shipp from Tomball, Texas. We did beat Cincinnati 44-23. Morton had a 196 quarterback rating, 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions with a 74% completion. Taj Brooks, only 12 carries for only 44 yards, only 3.7 per carry with 1 touchdown. But true freshman wide receiver Micah Hudson balled out once again. He only had 4 catches, but he had 141 yards on those 4 catches, averaging 35 per catch with 2 touchdowns, and he had an 82-yard bomb. Dude might end up being a beast, could potentially even be in the running for the Heisman after a year or 2. We're still in first on all these 5-star players, but the other teams are starting to schedule visits, so I went through and scheduled visits for all of them. and try to allocate as many hours as I could. We did end up losing the defensive tackle Raquan Ferris to TCU, unfortunately. And as you can see, we jumped right back up ahead after we scheduled visits, and then we put our points back in to fill them out. And yeah, we're in first place on all of these guys. Even this free safety, we only have 15 points on. We got another commitment here. It's going to be the center Demario Ben from Frisco. He's a 4-star. And we got an outside linebacker John Anzalone from Houston. He's a 4-star. We beat number 23 ranked Arizona 31-28 in a close game. Morton had a 165 rating, 278 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Taj Brooks only 10 carries, but he had 77 yards and 2 touchdowns on those 10 carries. And it looks like Hudson had a quiet game of 4 catches, 64 yards, no touchdowns. We're still in first place on all the 5-star guys, but Ohio State is making a huge run right here against this right tackle Ezekiel Coate. Hopefully we can hold him off. Mississippi State trying to come on here. We're looking good on Zambrano. McAllister, we're still looking good. Notre Dame is trying to come in hot, but they don't have a visit scheduled, and we do. This tight end looks like we're going to run away with them. No one else is interested in him. I'm starting to allocate a lot more points to other players now since we're starting to get some commitments and freeing up points. Oklahoma State's trying to steal this cornerback, Keelan Dobby, from us. This wide receiver, we're still in first place. He's a gem, so I definitely want to try to get him. And then I added a couple of guys down here on the bottom since we have more points, and we're in first place on this corner and this free safety, but I'm going after this running back for the first time. So we're 5th ranked on him, 3rd ranked on this wide receiver, and this left guard we're first, but haven't gone after them at all. So we should make a pretty good jump on both of these guys. We got the 4-star tight end Jason Hakeem, who is a gem. He's like 6'6" from Roswell, New Mexico. After the bye week, we're actually ranked 24th in the country with a 5-1 record. Gonna be playing against Baylor next. Unfortunately, Ohio State has jumped above us on Ezekiel Coates' list. They're still barely above us, and they have a week 9 visit, so it looks like he might be trying to commit there. If we can hold him off until week 11, we have a chance. Still in first place on the other 5-star guys, Redmond, Zambrano, and McAllister. Alabama's making a run here, I see. We did end up losing the cornerback, Keelan Dobby, to Oklahoma State. So we're going to go ahead and remove him. That sucks really bad. Still in first on McLeese, the wide receiver. We lost the middle linebacker, Caleb Murray, to freaking Baylor. Come on, man. Taking him off. And I'm going to have to go through here and allocate the 190 points that we have to other players. We got the wide receiver, Randy McLeese from Plano, Texas. He's a 4-star. We also got cornerback Emmanuel Milley from Spring, Texas, 4-star. We did beat Baylor 34-24. We're ranked 18th in the country with a 6-1 record. Morton had a 164 rating, 310 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Taj Brooks, another stellar game, 13 carries, 119 yards, 1 touchdown, had a 40-yard run. The freshman wide receiver, Micah Hudson, dude only had 3 catches, but 2 of them were for touchdowns, and he had 126 yards. Wow, 69 yards was the longest. We've now dropped down to 3rd on Ezekiel Coates' list to Ohio State and Washington. Definitely not looking good, but we need to get to week 11 if we can get them to visit. And then this right here, I don't understand how this works. All of a sudden, we have a deal breaker of playing style on this 5-star defensive end who were first on this list. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not going to take him off of the list. I'm going to leave him on there, and maybe that'll go away. I'm not really too sure. If anyone knows what that is, can you explain that to me? I have no idea. It makes no sense to me. Still first on Zambrano, and now we're 2nd to McAllister, the 5-star defensive tackle to Notre Dame. Once again, if we can make it to week 11 for that visit, that'll be crucial. Man, we got so lucky. We got the 5-star defensive end Daryl Redmond from Calera, Alabama. And we also came in clutch on the defensive end Zambrano, 5-star from Naperville, Illinois. We did end up losing to TCU in a very close game, 33-30. They actually have a 4-4 record. We lost our top 25 rank, and we have a 6-2 record at the moment. Morton had a 179 rating, 297 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Brooks, 17 carries, 76 yards, no touchdowns. And then Hudson had 5 catches, 57 yards, and 1 touchdown. Honestly, a quiet game for him, even with those numbers. Unfortunately, Ohio State stole Ezekiel Coate from us, the 5-star right tackle, and we also lost the 5-star defensive tackle Carter McAllister to freaking Notre Dame. That's okay though, it was a hard-fought battle, well worth it. We still got 2 5-star defensive ends, so our defensive line should be looking nasty next year. We got the number 3 ranked defensive end and the number 4 ranked defensive end in the country, and the fact that we got 2 5-stars in our first class is huge. especially since there's only 32 5-star players every year. We finished the season 8-4. We're not ranked in the top 25. We lost to Iowa State 31-28, beat Colorado 28-16, lost to number 18 Oklahoma State 39-38 by 1 point. Then we beat West Virginia 42-21. We finished 6-3 in the conference, so it wasn't good enough to make it to the Big 12 championship game. That's going to be between BYU and Utah. Jalen Milroe, quarterback from Alabama, won the Heisman Trophy, 42 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 3,700 yards. We made it to the Pop-Tarts Bowl in Orlando against SMU. We're at early National Signing Day, and we actually have the 15th best recruiting class in the nation. We have 14 total, 1 5-star, 12 4-stars, and 1 3-star who's actually a punter. I just realized what I said, that we only had 1 5-star, so apparently we lost one of our 5-star defensive ends. I did see it happen, but didn't realize it, because it was showing that we were like 12th on the list for a 5-star defensive end, and I thought it was just like a glitch or something. But yeah, it was the other guy that we had committed. I guess he committed verbally and decided to back out. That sucks. Never had that happen before. We end up losing the bowl game to SMU 41-38, a 3-point loss. Morton had a 158 rating, 299 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Taj Brooks had 15 carries, 85 yards with 3 tutties. And the freshman wide receiver had 3 for 45, no touchdowns. Since we're officially done with season 1, it's time to look at the season stats. Quarterback Morton, 3,800 yards passing, 33 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. That's a really good season. 69% completion with a 174 rating. Taj Brooks, the highest overall player on the team, 154 carries, 1,000 yards. Dude averaged over 7 yards per carry with 16 rushing touchdowns. Definitely expect to see him getting drafted. Quarterback Morton had 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. Backup running back had 5 rushing touchdowns. At receiver, Micah Hudson tied with the most catches on the team with 61 with 2 other players. He also had the most yards with 980, and he had 12 touchdowns. Man, this dude is gonna be unstoppable. Kelly had 900 yards, 7 touchdowns. The tight end Conyers had 800 yards with 4 touchdowns, and then Douglas had 700 yards with 9 touchdowns. Defensively, Roberts led the team in tackles with 78. Sacks, Rodriguez had 5. Interceptions, Lux had 2, and then we had a bunch of guys with 1 interception. We don't have any players that are wanting to transfer out, but we do have 3 players that are graduating that are projected to go in the draft. Taj Brooks, the running back, projected to go in the 2nd round. Left guard, Vinny Skiri, 89 overall, projected to go in the 4th round. And then tight end, Jalen Conyers, 88 overall, projected to go in the 7th round. Running back Taj Brooks actually went in the 2nd round. Skiri, the left guard, went in the 4th round, and then tight end Conyers went in the 6th round. Looking at the transfer portal, and we actually have a chance to get quarterback Preston Stone from SMU. He's a 4-star junior. Definitely want to try to get him, and we also have a couple of other guys that we can get that are 4 stars. Left tackle Williams, wide receiver Matthew Golden from Texas, and then a cornerback from Colorado who's a sophomore, DJ McKinney. I'll simulate it to the next week and have an update on quarterback Preston Stone. We're trying to get him to transfer to us from SMU, and TCU is going after him hardcore. Looks like he really wants to go there. I'm going to keep him on the board for now, but it's not looking good. Quarterback Preston Stone has officially locked us out, and it looks like he's going to be going to TCU, unfortunately. It is officially National Signing Day. We finished with the 14th ranked recruiting class in the country. We got 34 total commits. Only 1 5-star, unfortunately, since that one guy decided that he wanted to leave us for whatever reason. 15 4-stars is pretty good, 15 3-stars, and we also got 3 2-stars. We're officially at the start of season 2. We're going to be rolling with the 5th-year senior at quarterback Morton, who is an 85 overall. Backing him up is going to be the redshirt freshman Hammond, who's a 75 overall, most likely going to be the starter next season. At running back, we have a downgrade to Cameron Valdez, who's only an 80 overall 5th-year senior. The last running back we had actually got drafted in the 2nd round because he was like a 95 overall. At wide receiver, Micah Hudson has developed nicely. He was an 80 overall at the beginning of the year last year. Now as a sophomore, he's an 86 overall, making him the #1 wide receiver over 87 overall Douglas. We're going to have some true freshmen that are contributing to the team. We got a backup tight end here, Nalrath. He's a 72 overall. The highest rated overall true freshman that we have is the 5-star defensive end Zambrano. He's actually a 79 overall, but he's playing up to 82 overall. He's going to be starting for us at defensive end right away. 6'3", 255-pound power rusher. Looking closer at the 5-star defensive end Zambrano, who's going to be starting as a true freshman. He does have star dev trait, which is pretty good. As far as his ratings go, he does have a lot of room to improve. So after the 3rd or 4th year, dude's probably going to be balling out. He's probably going to be a high 90s overall. Highest overall rated player on the team is middle linebacker Ben Roberts, who's technically an 88, but he's playing up to a 92. And then we have outside linebacker 91 overall. Micah Hudson, the true sophomore wide receiver, is the 4th highest overall on the team. This is what the schedule is looking like for season 2. We start off against Colorado State, then number 7 Penn State, Oregon State, number 22 ranked Kansas State, Houston, Arizona State, number 14 Oklahoma State, UCF, number 12 BYU, West Virginia, number 5 Utah, and then close out the season against Kansas. There's a bunch of ranked teams on here. How many is that? 3, 4, 5, 5 teams that we're playing against are ranked. I'm in week 1 of the regular season, and this is what the recruiting board is looking like. We actually have a lot of 5-stars that we're in the top 5 in. This guy, Earl Gray at running back, is a 5-star. Alabama's on the lead, but we got a pretty big jump with just 50 hours, which is the most that we can do. Here's another running back. He's an elusive guy. I dropped 50 hours on him, but it looks like Oregon and Washington are probably going to get away with that. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove that guy. This wide receiver, we're actually 2 on his board, and he's a 5-star Jim, which is insane. We dropped 50 points on him, and we're actually catching up to SMU right away. Another 5-star wide receiver that we're 2nd on. SMU is trying to get him, and we're going to try to snipe him from him again. SMU, we're coming for your ass, motherfuckers.
No cap on that one.
We are 4th on this 5-star left tackle at the moment. I got 65 hours allocated to him, which is the most that's allowed on him. And then we have another 5-star right guard, 65 hours on him. And then the rest of these guys, I think there's a couple more 5-stars. There's a 5-star free safety. Name, we've gained a lot on SC right there. We gained a lot on Texas on this 5-star strong safety. So yeah, I think that the recruiting class this year is going to be looking a lot better just for the overall high-end talent that we might be getting. We're 3 games into the season. We have a 2-1 record. We beat Colorado State 34-11. We lost to Penn State 42-17. They're ranked number 4 in the country. And then we beat Oregon State 41-17. Quick update on the scouting. We're still in 1st on a lot of these 5-stars. We're 2nd on this wide receiver, but that's because I had scheduled a visit the last week. I'm going to go through there and change the hours back to 50, which is only at 10 at the moment. But we're still 1st on all these guys. We did lose this 4-star defensive tackle to Alabama, and he was a gem, and I really wanted to get him. Still in 1st on these 2 5-star safeties. We got visits scheduled with them, and we actually got our first commit of the season, Vi Chow, a defensive end who was a 4-star. We're at week 6 against Kansas State, and wide receiver Caleb Douglas had 7 catches, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, wins Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. We beat Kansas State by 2 points, 30-28. We're ranked 23rd in the nation. Morton had a 197 passer rating, 391 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, got sacked 3 times, had 67% completion, and he was also the leading rusher on the team, 10 carries, 42 yards. No other running backs did anything really. And we saw Douglas went crazy. Micah Hudson, 5 catches, 84 yards, and 1 touchdown. That's an average day for him. We're starting to lose ground on a lot of these 5-star guys. We're still in 1st place on this running back, but Alabama's coming in hot. We're in 3rd place on this wide receiver, and we got a visit scheduled with them for week 10, so hopefully that can make a difference for us, unless he decides to commit to TCU in week 9. This wide receiver, SMU, is taking a pretty big lead, and they have a visit a week before us, so that's not looking good. We did get this 5-star left tackle to commit to the team. He's 6'7", 319 pounds, out of Phoenix, Arizona. That is freaking huge, 6'7". We unfortunately lost this right guard to freaking Texas. Go ahead and take him off the board. And we lost this defensive tackle to Texas A&M, but he was a bust, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. Still in 1st place on this 5-star free safety and this 5-star strong safety, so hopefully we can get both of them. We also got a middle linebacker to commit to us. He's a 4-star out of Wiley, Texas. We got 5-star free safety Jason Jordan with 2 first names from Honolulu, Hawaii, committing to Texas Tech. And we also got the strong safety Kurt Roth from San Antonio, Texas, another 5-star. Sophomore wide receiver Micah Hudson won Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week against Houston. 6 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Bad news on the recruiting front. We lost 5-star wide receiver Alex Dukes to freaking TCU, so we're gonna have to go after someone else. I wish we could do more than 50 hours on the wide receivers. I guess I should have paid attention to that when I'm upgrading the scouting on the coaches. So I'm gonna go through and allocate the other 215 points. We got the 5-star running back Earl Gray from Arlington, Texas to commit to Texas Tech. Unfortunately, SMU took our 5-star wide receiver. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his last name because I don't know what the heck that is. Quick check in here. We are 8-1 on the season. We're ranked number 6 in the country. We beat Arizona State 31-6. Oklahoma State, we beat them 24-3. Beat UCF 27-21, and we just beat BYU 33-29. We got 3 games left in the regular season. We were on a 7-game win streak, but we lost to West Virginia 35-30. We're now ranked 18th in the country. We got an 8-2 record on the season. Let's see what happened in this game. Morton had a 167 rating, 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 69% completion. Pretty good game from him. Caleb Largo, the freshman running back, 10 for 44. Morton actually had a rushing touchdown as well. And Micah Hudson keeps going crazy in these games, man. He's only a sophomore, 86 overall, 9 catches, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns with a 46-yard bomb. Utah beat us in a close game, 24-21. We got 2 losses in a row now. We're still ranked number 25 in the country somehow. Morton had a 156 rating, not his best game, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, got sacked twice. Caleb Largo, 7 carries, 37 yards. Micah Hudson led the team, 8 catches, 85 yards with 2 tutties. We did win the last game of the regular season, so we're 9-3. We're ranked number 16 in the country, made it to the Big 12 championship game against number 23 West Virginia. We beat West Virginia, so we are officially Big 12 champs for the first time in the rebuild. Huge breaking news here. Sophomore wide receiver Micah Hudson wins Best Receiver of the Year with 83 catches, 1,286 yards, and 21 freaking touchdowns. It looks like we blew out West Virginia 41-10. We're ranked number 14 in the country, so that might not be good enough to make it to the playoffs. We'll see what happens with that. Morton had a 188 rating, 260 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions in the Big 12 championship game, and we basically have no rushing once again. Eakin had 7 catches, 122 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He won the player of the game. I didn't show that though. Micah Hudson only had 5 catches for 40 yards. Caleb Douglas had 2 touchdowns. It's early national signing day. We have the 12th ranked recruiting class in the country. 17 total commits with 4 5-stars, 5 4-stars, and 8 3-stars. We did make it into the college football playoff quarterfinal. We're going to be playing against number 2 ranked Georgia. Georgia is 89 overall with 89 offense and 90 defense. We are 85 overall with 84 offense and 87 defense. I'm going to jump into this game and play the moments. Jumping into the game here, we're actually playing in AT&T Stadium, also known as the Cowboy Stadium, so we kind of have a home game here, not gonna lie. Can't believe that was caught, but hey, we got a first down. Gonna try to get the run game going here since the team's not really known for it. Maybe we'll catch them off guard, but we do get a first down. Triangle's wide open up the middle. Easy first down, big gain. Throw it away. Damn. What the heck happened on that play? At the very end, this guy just came in like super fast. It was a weird animation. The heck? Watch this crazy animation right here. He got sandwiched by 3 dudes here. Watch. Morton is over here. How does he all of a sudden just jump straight across like that? He like teleported. I can't even go slow enough to see. All of a sudden he teleports like 4 yards to the right. Boom. Dude got put into an alternate dimension. 2nd down and 17. We need to try to get Hudson involved in the game here if we can. Hudson across the middle. 3rd down and 3. We need to get a first down here. Hudson's open right up the middle. Why would you not throw it to him? Dude just won Receiver of the Year. No, as soon as I let go, I knew it was freaking intercepted. That was 100% my fault. And we can't even make the tackle? Really? Come on, pick 6, man. We're down 7-0 in the first quarter, but we're already in the red zone here. We got a 3rd down and 5. Hudson Is that a tutty? No, he's down at the 1. Get it up there. Oh, we barely got in, but we'll take it. Looks like they're probably gonna run it. Oh, they faked the run. What the heck? That was a crazy play. There's a lot of glitching out in this game. Like 3 of their players ran into each other. We are blitzing. How did that guy get wide open? Touchdown. It's tied 14-14. It's 3rd down and 4. You already know we're going to Hudson. He is the real deal. Future 1st round draft pick. We got it up there, 1st down. Nice. Thought we were gonna run out of room. We got a reverse play here. I don't know how well this is gonna work, but we'll find out. Oh, the quarterback with a nice block. That's going for 6. Touchdown, Texas Tech. Probably not a good idea, but we're going to Hudson. And he dropped it. Come on, man. Georgia has the ball in the red zone here. 1st and goal on the 2. Get him. Ooh, nice play by the D tackle. We're committing to run up the middle. We should be able to stop him. Oh, that was like as close as you can get without scoring a touchdown. They're doing an end around screen pass or something. Get him. No, it went right over top of the cornerback's head. 48 seconds still in the 2nd quarter. We're down by 7 points. I'm just going to take off with the quarterback. Doesn't really have a ton of speed, but we had nowhere to go with the ball. Hudson is in the slot triangle. All right, let's see what the safeties do here. Throwing it to Hudson. And of course it's intercepted. We're in the 3rd quarter and we're losing 35-21 with 3 minutes left. What the hell? Throwing it to Hudson. He held on to the ball. We got a 1st down. Put the tight end on the out route. Maybe we can throw it to him for a tutty right here. Touchdown to the tight end. Yep. We're losing 42-28 in the 4th quarter, and we have a 4th down. Coach wants to go for it. Not looking good. Going to square. Held on to it. Cannot believe it, but I'll take it, man. Going to Hudson. Come on, Hudson, burn him. Hit him with that juke move. It's nasty. We got 3.5 minutes left. We need to hurry up and get in the end zone here. Put the tight end on a streak. Maybe he can break open up the middle. I'm going to him. Screw it. Out jump him. And intercepted once again, man. Probably should have just simulated this game. We're losing 45-28. 1 minute left in the 4th quarter. I'm going to put Hudson on a streak and see if we can just burn him deep, maybe. Just throwing it up to Hudson. Oh, he caught it on the deflect. What the hell? I'm going to have to go check the replay on that. Ball's coming in. Hits the safety. Goes through his stomach, or the back, his back. The ball goes through his back. Oh wait, what kind of animation is that? All of a sudden it zips all the way to his hands. Going to Hudson, and another interception, man. Maybe I should just retire from playing the game and just stick to simulating.
No cap on that one.
Final score, 45-28, we lost. Everyone knows we lost that game because Morton threw 4 interceptions. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Obviously, it was my fault making a bunch of bad decisions. He had a 125 rating, 244 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 picks. The last game of his career. He's a redshirt senior, so he'll be graduating for sure. Basically, no running game once again. Hudson did have 8 catches for 159 yards because I kept feeding him the ball like crazy, just forcing it to him. Season stats for the end of season 2. Morton had 3,700 yards, 41 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 69% completion with the 173 rating. He had a good 2 years for us. Let's look at both of his seasons combined here. He actually had a better season last year as far as the rating goes, probably because those 4 interceptions I threw in the last game messed it all up. But he threw a lot more touchdowns, but way more interceptions. The running game was like basically non-existent, which is crazy because we just had a running back that was getting like 1,200 yards, and then as soon as he graduates, we're like, all right, we're throwing the ball non-stop. Valdez had the most rushing yards, 492 with 2 touchdowns. Morton actually had the second most with 451. He was just short of being the most rushing yards on the team with 3 touchdowns. And then Largo, the redshirt freshman, is at 79 overall, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Receiving, Hudson finished with 91 catches, 1,400 yards, and 21 touchdowns. That's so crazy, man. Caleb Douglas, the senior, had 800 yards, 10 touchdowns. Eakin, 758 yards, 7 touchdowns. And then the tight end, John Carlos Miller, 480 yards with 1 touchdown. Defensively, Roberts led the team in tackles with 88. And then Kana, whatever you say his name, 84 tackles, second most on the team. Two guys had 7 tackles for loss. Most sacks was outside linebacker Jacob Rodriguez, the redshirt senior, 88 overall. He had 9.5 sacks. Dylan Spencer had 7.5 sacks. Interceptions, AJ McCarty actually had 5 interceptions. Nice. Looking at the college football playoff bracket, I just realized that we were a number 4 seed, so we had a bye week. We didn't have to play in the first round. Georgia, they were ranked number 2 in the country, but they had to play in the first round. How does that make any sense? They ended up beating Florida State, and then they played us. I thought that they were the higher seed and we were playing against them. This is crazy. But Georgia ends up winning the whole thing. They beat Oklahoma 30-17. They had a 15-2 season. Micah Hudson made first team All-American. Obviously that was going to happen since he won Best Receiver of the Year. We have any guys on second team? Actually, Jacob Rodriguez, outside linebacker, second team All-American. Any freshmen? Nope. What about in the Big 12? We should have a lot of stuff going on here in the Big 12. Micah Hudson, obviously, since he did national, he's going to make the Big 12. Second team, Jacob Rodriguez once again. Freshman, we got Will Hammond. Dude didn't even play a game, but he's over here, freshman, Big 12. Caleb Largo, the backup running back. And also our strong safety, Peyton Morgan, who's already 82 overall as a redshirt freshman. Middle linebacker Ben Roberts is projected to go in the 4th round, but we have a really high chance of getting him to stay. And yeah, he persuaded to stay. And we have 2 guys that are trying to transfer, and it's actually offensive linemen, which we need to keep because our offensive line is not that great. We have a medium chance of getting them to stay. And the right guard, PJ Williams, has not been persuaded. He's going to leave. We need this left tackle, Weston Davis, to stay. Please stay. He's decided to stay. Nice. Who else we got leaving here? Caleb Douglas, the wide receiver, is projected to go in the 4th round. And then outside linebacker Jacob Rodriguez is projected to go in the 5th round. We are losing our quarterback, Morton. He's been good to us. We're losing our starting right tackle, one of our best cornerbacks. We're losing a lot of guys here. Our best running back, once again, graduated 2 years in a row. Wide receiver Caleb Douglas got drafted in the 3rd round. Outside linebacker Jacob Rodriguez got drafted in the 3rd round. And our quarterback Morton actually got drafted in the 6th round. Nice. Looking at the transfer portal, it looks like we have a chance to get quarterback DJ Lagway. We're actually 4th on his board at the moment, and it looks like there's not one team that's like way ahead. And the other 4-star that we could get is going to be running back LJ Martin, a junior from BYU. Once again, we lose out on a quarterback in the transfer portal to TCU. These Moflos keep on taking players that I want, man. It's National Signing Day. We finished with the number 8 ranked recruiting class in the country. We had 34 total commits, 4 5-stars, 7 4-stars, 22 3-stars, and I did get 1 2-star who was a freshman transfer. Looking at the training results here, I'm not really sure I understand how the training results works, because whenever I used to play the old college football game like 2014, 2013, pretty sure it used to say like +4, +5 on the side or whatever. Here it just has a green arrow, so Ben Roberts is technically a 90 overall, but it says he's a 94 with the green arrow. Does that mean that he's up 4, or does that mean that he's just getting a +4 boost because of all the stuff that the coaches has? This I have not understood on this new college football game. If anyone understands that, please comment below and let me know. This is what the schedule is looking like for season 3. We're starting out Oklahoma State, Fresno State, Colorado State, number 19 West Virginia, Colorado, Cincinnati, number 15 Baylor, Houston, Arizona State, and then Arizona, Oregon State, closing the season out against TCU. We're going to have a brand new starting quarterback this year since we graduated our quarterback. And I'm going to go with Titus Conrad. He's the highest overall. He only has normal depth trait, but he has a ton of physical abilities and he has a mental ability. Will Hammond has 0 physical abilities and 0 mental abilities. And he's already a sophomore and he's only a 76 overall. Conrad's a freshman, red shirt, and he's a 78 overall. Running back, we're going with Largo. He's a 79 overall. Wide receiver, of course, we have Micah Hudson. I didn't know that he has elite depth trait, but it makes sense. 91 overall as a junior. He's probably going to be going to the draft after this year, so this might be his farewell season. And then we have Josh Souza, the redshirt freshman making his debut. 84 overall. Dude has 96 speed. He's going to be our number 2 receiver right away. Most likely going to be the number 1 guy next year. He's 6'2", 192 pounds. He's a deep threat. I'll just breeze through and look at the rest of the starters. We got 81 at left tackle, 88 at left guard, 82 at center, 85 at left guard, was technically right guard, and then 78 at right tackle. Defensive end, we got 88 and 84. Defensive tackle, 89 and 83. Outside linebacker is a 93. Middle linebacker is a 94 and a 91. And then outside linebacker is going to be a redshirt freshman, John Anzalone. He's already playing up to 85 overall, 87 speed. Dude should make an impact right away. We got a sick linebacker core, that's for sure. Cornerbacks, not the greatest, but we have an 85 and an 84. But this 84, Miles Thompson, he actually has 98 speed. Free safety, we have a senior 83 overall, and he has a 98 speed also. So we do have some speed in our secondary, which is great. Strong safety, 86 overall. And we're going to be having a freshman kicker because he has 89 kick power. As far as recruiting goes, we're going after a ton of 5-star guys. The school is the best it's been so far in the rebuild, so we have a lot more interest from these guys. We're actually first on most of these guys. We got a 5-star quarterback, 5-star defensive tackle, a left tackle, another left tackle, 5-star wide receiver that we're third on, but I'm going to keep going after him. Another 5-star wide receiver that we're first on. And then we have a 5-star free safety, defensive end, and cornerback. And we have a 4-star free safety who is a gem that I'm going after. I forgot to mention that we started the season out ranked number 13 before we played any games. We did beat Oklahoma State 31-27. Let's jump in here and see what the stats are looking like for our new quarterback that's starting. Conrad had a 159 rating, not the greatest. 351 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He got sacked 5 times. Damn. Largo, not great at running either, only 3.1 yards per carry. Receiving, our tight end went crazy. 9 catches, 130 yards. Hudson only had 3 catches for 67 yards, but still got a touchdown. They need to get Hudson the ball way more. Here at week 3, we are 3-0. We're ranked number 4 in the country. We beat Fresno State 34-21, and then we destroyed Colorado State 55-3. Definitely want to see what's going on here. Conrad, 173 rating, 249 yards with 4 touchdown passes. Got sacked 3 times, 73% completion. And he also had 12 carries for 108 yards rushing. Wow. Largo, 80 yards with 1 touchdown. Receiving, TJ West had the most, 5 for 77 with 2 touchdowns. The redshirt freshman, Suiza, 66 yards, 1 touchdown. Hudson, only 4 catches for 26 yards. That is not looking good. We got our first commitment of the year, and it's a 5-star quarterback from Edmond, Oklahoma. His name is Eric Espinosa. We also got a 5-star left tackle from Pearland, Texas. His name is DeMarcus Pollard. And we got a 4-star free safety from Dallas, Texas, John Ortiz. Currently at week 7, we beat a lot of teams since the last check-in. We beat West Virginia 38-24. We beat Colorado State 24-20. We beat Cincinnati 42-14. We had the biggest game of the season coming up right now because we are ranked number 3 in the country. We're going against number 4 Baylor, who is 5-0. We're 6-0. One of us is going to come out of this game with a loss. Sadly, we lost to Baylor, and in our undefeated season, 23-20 was the final score. We dropped down to number 6 in the country. Baylor jumped up to number 2. Let's check out the stats on this game. Conrad, 170 rating, 255 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Dude still got sacked 3 times. He might break the record from getting sacked the most times ever. 82% completion. Rushing game, basically non-existent. Receiving, the 5-star freshman Souza had 9 catches, 121 yards, 1 touchdown. Micah Hudson had 4 catches, 67 yards, no touchdowns. I think the reason why he's not getting very much production is because I put the 5-star freshman in the slot. So Hudson's not getting as many targets even though he's the number 1 receiver. A lot of things have happened with the scouting. We've got a ton of 5-star guys that have committed, including 2 5-star wide receivers with this guy, Jamie Mwamba, however you say his name, 5-star wide receiver. Cordell Lane, another 5-star wide receiver. We got a 5-star defensive end, Caleb Dickerson, 4-star free safety, 4-star wide receiver. So scouting and recruiting has actually been going really good for us so far. We're actually sitting as a number 4 ranked recruiting class in the entire country with only 8 players because we had 6 5-stars, which is the most in the game so far in the season. We just landed our 7th 5-star recruit, Anthony Rosas from Pompano Beach, California. He is a cornerback. We're officially at the end of the regular season. We only had 1 loss against Baylor on the entire season until the last week of the regular season against TCU. We were ranked number 2 when we played against them, and we got beat by them 34-23, unfortunately. Our quarterback, Titus Conrad, had a terrible game. 104 rating, 200 yards, 1 interception, 57% completion. Not good, buddy. He also led the team in rushing yards, which is not good. Largo only had 24 yards on 12 carries. What the hell, dude? He still had 1 touchdown, but wow. Receiving, 5-star freshman, 6 for 56. Where's Hudson at? 1 catch for 16 yards. This is not looking good. The good news is that we made it to the Big 12 championship for the 2nd year in a row, and it's going to be against Baylor, the team that gave us our first loss of the season. Baylor's ranked number 6. We're ranked number 7. We did avenge our loss against Baylor, beating them in the Big 12 championship game. The final score was 38-24. That moves us up to 4th ranked in the country. Baylor drops down to number 6. Conrad had a great game, 214 rating, that's awesome. 396 yards, that's a lot. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 72% completion. Largo actually had a good game running the ball, 13 carries for 97 yards, no touchdowns. Our backup running back had 3 carries for 2 touchdowns, crazy. Receiving, Suiza had 5 for 142 and a touchdown, and Micah Hudson back to his old self. 7 catches, 134 yards for 1 touchdown. He had a 75-yard bomb, and Suiza had a 73-yard bomb. It's early National Signing Day, and we have the number 1 class in the entire country. 20 total recruits, 7 5-stars, 6 4-stars, and 7 3-stars. Here's the college football playoff bracket. We got a bye week, so we're automatically in the quarterfinal. We are a number 2 seed in the playoffs. It looks like we're going to play against either LSU or Baylor, so if we have to play Baylor for a 3rd time in the same season, that would just be insane. We avoid having to play Baylor for a 3rd time. We're going to be taking on the number 10 ranked LSU Tigers in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Well, LSU ended up defeating us 38-24. I just simulated the game. I thought we'd have a better chance of winning if I didn't jump in and throw like 7 interceptions, but I guess I was wrong. Titus Conrad didn't have a great game. 126 rating, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, only 63% completion. Rushing, Largo was terrible, 17 carries for 34 yards, not good. 5-star freshman receiver had a great game though, 9 catches, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hudson only 3 for 25 in what could end up being the last game of his career. Dude's probably going to be a 1st-round pick already. LSU ended up winning the national championship against Michigan, who was 15-1. They beat them 35-17, so we did lose to the champion. Micah Hudson is going to the NFL draft. He's projected to be a 1st-round pick. We had 0 chance of persuading him. I still tried, and it was not successful. Pretty much our entire offensive line that started was like, yeah, we want to transfer. We don't like blocking for this quarterback because we just keep letting them get sacked nonstop. I was able to get 3 of them to stay. We had a high chance of getting Dylan Shaw to stay, but he still was like, nope, I'm leaving. Other than Micah Hudson, we do have one more guy that's projected to be drafted in the 2nd round. It's middle linebacker Ben Roberts. Led the team in tackles a lot. He's a redshirt senior, finally graduating. He's at 90 overall. And then this guard, we got him to stay, so he's not going to the draft yet. We are losing our starting strong safety, 87 overall, Brendan Jordan, and one of our best cornerbacks, 86 overall, Jalen Peoples. Wide receiver Micah Hudson did end up getting drafted in the 1st round. I wonder what team he went to. Also, Ben Roberts got drafted in the 2nd round, and then our strong safety wasn't even projected to get drafted, got drafted in the 7th round. Looking at the transfer portal, we actually have 5 guys that are 4-stars that want to come to the team. We're at least on their top 5 anyways. And what's crazy that DJ Lagway, we tried to get him last year. He decided to go to TCU, and he wasn't even the starter for them over there. Now he's like, all right, I'm out of here. I want to go somewhere else. So we're going to try to get him. If we can get one of these 4-star quarterbacks. I don't know about this guy. It says that he's a freshman, so he might not be better than our starter currently. But if we can get us a good starting quarterback, because this is going to be the last season of the rebuild, that would definitely help out a lot. I'm also going after all these 4-star guys that could potentially be starters for us right away. We did end up getting the quarterback DJ Lagway, so maybe he's going to be a pretty decent overall and could be the starter for us in this last season. It's National Signing Day. We officially finished with the number 1 recruiting class in the entire country. 31 total commits, 7 5-stars, 9 4-stars, and 15 3-stars. DJ Lagway is going to be a senior now. He's actually 85 overall, so he's way better than any quarterback that we have on the roster. He has 88 speed with 91 throw power. Also, he has impact dev trait, which is better than normal rate. Let's see if he got any playing time at TCU. Yeah, he had 0 playing time over there. Buddy, you should have just came to us last year. You could have had like a 4,000 yard passing season and another 800 rushing yards. But no, you want to go to TCU like an idiot. Well, you did pretty good whenever you're in Florida in 2025. 171 rating, 3,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions, and then you had almost 400 yards rushing. We also got a pretty good upgrade at the running back position in the transfer portal. We got Kieran Boyd. He's an 85 overall redshirt senior. He's definitely going to be way better than Largo. Largo didn't do very good last year at all. I don't even think I went through and looked at the season stats last year, did I? I just realized that. See what Largo did last year. 3.9 per carry. Not as bad as I thought, but yeah, it's definitely not good for college. Should be averaging like 6 yards a carry in this crazy offense. So the running back Boyd, our new starter, he is a senior redshirt. He has impact dev trait. See what kind of stats he's putting up in his last few. He was at Duke last season, 140 carries, 600 yards, 4.3 per carry with 5 touchdowns. Definitely better than Largo. Hopefully we can get him to like 5 yards, 5.5 yards per carry. And he has some pretty decent hands. Dang, look, in 2025, dude has 65 catches as a running back. New number 1 wide receiver is going to be Suiza. Dude is up to 87 overall with 96 speed. And then we have West. And then we have the two 5-star wide receivers that we got. They're both 78 overalls. Cordell Lane is 6'5" with 93 speed. That's crazy. But yeah, these dudes are going to be getting some playing time for sure as freshmen. This true freshman cornerback is an 81 overall with 99 speed. That is insane. Dude has 82 man coverage, but his zone coverage is ass with a 65. That right guard, Caden Carr, that we persuaded to stay instead of going to the draft, he actually has an injury, so I wonder if that's why he didn't go, because it says he has an Achilles tear and he's still out for another 26 weeks. This is what the schedule is looking like for the 4th and final season of the rebuild. I will not be doing any recruiting at all since it's not going to matter going forward. We got North Texas to start this season. Then we got Kansas, number 9 Utah, number 19 North Carolina State, Houston, BYU, Kansas State, UCF, number 10 Baylor, Iowa State, number 15 TCU, and we end the season against UMass. We're starting the season ranked number 6 in the country. We are 89 overall with a 91 overall offense and 89 defense. This is by far the best team that we have for sure. Best player on the team is Justin Horn, middle linebacker, is a 92 overall. Then we have outside linebacker John Anzalone, is a 92 overall. Free safety 91, so we have some pretty good linebackers, good free safety. We are 3 weeks into the season and we're off to a terrible start. We're 24th ranked in the country. We started off beating North Texas 31-28, lost to Kansas 24-16, and lost to Utah 33-15. See what's going on here. Lagway not doing so great. 146 rating, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, got sacked 4 times, 70% completion. He had the most rushing yards with 32. Receiving, Suiza had 7 for 73 with 1 touchdown. Tight end had a touchdown. All right, we are at week 7 and we've got a 3-game win streak. We're up to rank number 11 in the country, and I'm seeing a trend here. It looks like we love to score 31 points and get wins when we do. So we beat North Texas with 31 points. We beat North Carolina State 31 points. We beat Houston with 31 points. We beat BYU with 31 points. So if we score 31 points, we win. If we don't, we lose. We're at week 11 against Iowa State, and Josh Suiza, the sophomore wide receiver, just won the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week with 9 catches, 223 yards, and 4 freaking touchdowns. And that's also good enough for him to win the National Offensive Player of the Week, man. It's the end of the regular season. We finished 10-2, number 5 in the country, so we definitely bounced back big time after starting off 1-2. We scored 31 points 2 more times and we won both of those games. But we did make it to the Big 12 Conference Championship game for the 3rd season in a row. We're going to be playing against number 6 ranked Arizona. They are 11-1 on the season. Hopefully we can get us a win. We did win the Big 12 championship, beating Arizona 33-20. See what's going on with the stats in here. Lagway had a 171 rating, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's not good. 3 sacks, 74% completion. And he had the most rushing yards with 34. So our running game, it looks like we're just passing the ball a lot. TJ West, a senior wide receiver, had the most, 5 catches, 86 yards, and a touchdown. And then Randy McAleese, I don't even know who he is, 2 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown. Looking at the playoff bracket, we are the number 2 seed, and we're actually ranked number 2 in the country. And I'm not liking this. It looks like we have the chance to play against LSU once again. Either them or Ole Miss, so hopefully Ole Miss can get the win. Exactly what I didn't want to happen. We got to go against LSU once again in the All-State Sugar Bowl. For the second straight year, LSU knocks us out of the freaking playoffs. They beat us 34-21. Definitely not happy about that, but their quarterback had a crazy game. 214 rating with 3 touchdowns, man. DJ Lagway, not so great. 159 rating, 295 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, got sacked 4 times, 66% completion. Largo had the most carries, 6, or the most yards, 29 yards. Lagway had the most carries, so yeah, running game sucks. Prohl, a sophomore wide receiver, had 5 catches, 117 yards, 1 touchdown. One of them was 75 yards. West had 100 yards. Where is Sawiza at? Is he injured? How come he's not getting any catches at all? It doesn't say that he's injured. The season is officially over, so we're looking at the stats. Lagway had 4,100 yards passing, 40 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Actually not too bad. 73% completion with a 182 rating, so I guess we couldn't really ask for too much more from him. He actually did pretty good. As far as the running game, Largo actually ended up having the most rushing yards, 527 with 5.1 per carry, which is way better than he had last year with 3 touchdowns. Lagway had almost 500 yards with 7 touchdowns. And then the transfer, we got a running back, 410 yards, only 3.8 per carry with 4 touchdowns. Receiving, Sawiza had a great season, 74 catches, 1,200 yards with 19 touchdowns, man. West, 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. McLeese, 700 yards, 6 touchdowns. And the tight end at 650 yards with 3 touchdowns. Checking out the defensive side, and we had a lot of guys that had 50 tackles. Nobody had like 90 tackles though for some reason. Zambrano had the most tackles for loss. I remember we got him. I think he was a 5-star for recruit, if I remember correctly. How do I see that? Overview. Yeah, he was a 5-star, and he had star dev. Most sacks on the team was Brandon McGee with 9, and then we had a huge drop-off. Zambrano had 3.5, and then we have a few guys with 3 down here. Interceptions, Horn had 3, Thompson had 3, Edmond had 2, and we have a bunch of guys with 1 here. The freshman cornerback, Anthony Rosas, that's the guy that has 99 speed, had 1 interception. Do we have anybody doing some kick return stuff here? Bassie had 1 touchdown. I'll put Rosas there to do something since he had that 99 speed, but he didn't score any touchdowns. Overall, this rebuild was a win. We started off first season going 8-5. Then we made it to the Big 12 championship and the college football playoff 3 years in a row. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a win in the playoff. But that's going to be it for the video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, comment down below what other teams you want to see rebuilds of, what other players you want to see career simulations of. Appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.